హాయ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్, వెల్కమ్ టు ఆన్లైన్ విద్యా గురు. సో మన ఛానల్లో ఇంగ్లీష్ గ్రామర్ సంబంధించి చాలా టాపిక్స్ అప్లోడ్ చేస్తున్నాం. సో అందులో భాగంగా లాస్ట్ వీడియోలో మనం యాక్షన్ వర్బ్స్ గురించి పార్ట్ 1 వీడియో చేయడం జరిగింది. సో ఈ వర్బ్స్లో భాగంగా ఈరోజు మనం వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిస్కస్ ఆక్సిలరీ వర్బ్స్. సో లెట్ మీ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ auxiliary verbs. So you know there are two kinds of auxiliary verbs are there in English. So one of them is primary auxiliaries and the second one is secondary auxiliaries. So first of all, what is an auxiliary verb? So you may have heard about auxiliary verbs that these auxiliary verbs are also called as helping verbs. So helping verbs means that helps to a main verb in a sentence. అంటే ఈ ఆక్సిలరీ వర్బ్స్ మనం హెల్పింగ్ వర్బ్స్ అంటాం, అంటే సహాయక క్రియలు అని కూడా అంటూ ఉంటాం. అంటే వీటి యొక్క మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్ ఏంటంటే మనకి మెయిన్ వర్బ్స్కి ఇవి కొంచెం హెల్ప్గా ఉంటూ ఉంటాయి. అందువల్ల వీటి మనం హెల్పింగ్ వర్బ్స్ అని కానీ లేదంటే ఆక్సిలరీ వర్బ్స్ అని కానీ అంటూ ఉంటాం. సో అదేవిధంగా ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు నో ద ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ మెయిన్ వర్బ్, సో హూ వర్క్స్ ద ఫంక్షన్ ఆర్ హూ ఈజ్ రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ for the action in the sentence. So everything we have to know from these auxiliary verbs. So now let me explain primary auxiliaries. For example, look at this sentence, you can understand. He can lift the box. He can lift the box. So in this sentence you can understand that here lift, it is the main verb, whereas can is an auxiliary verb or it is a helping verb. So here with the help of helping verb we can understand that who lift the box or who has done an action. So that information we have to know. At the same time, here this helping verbs add something or it helps to the main verb, that is lift in this sentence. So we can understand that he can lift the box. So here can referred as a helping verb and lift is considered as main verb or principal verb, and it shows an action also. So that's why here lift is called as an action verb, like that. So then again here these primary auxiliaries are divided into 3 forms. Be forms, they are be forms, have forms and do forms. So here what are be forms? Here am, is, are. So these are the be forms that we usually generally we can use in present tense. So present tense be forms. So am, is are considered as present tense be forms, whereas was, were. So these are all these are also be forms, but usually we can use them as in the part of past tense. Be, been, being. So here been, usually we can use that in perfect tenses, either present perfect tense or past perfect tense, like that. Being is used in the form of continuous tense, whereas be also. So that's why here these verbs come under be forms. So sometimes these auxiliary verbs, they can state they may call as state verbs also, because they can show the condition or the state of the subject of a sentence. Next we will discuss have forms. So have forms are nothing but as has, have, had and having. So these are come under have forms. Next do forms. Do, does, did, doing. So here do, does we may use as helping verbs in present simple. For example, she does a work, and we do go to market, like that. But here did, the helping verb which is there in the do forms, did, it is used in past tense form. For example, they did complete their work yesterday. They did play very well in the last match. So I did complete my work. So in that way here did auxiliary verb is used. Next doing. So this do form is used in the form of continuous tense also. For example, I am doing my work, she is doing her work. So doing. So in that way we can use it. So here few more examples are there how these primary auxiliary verbs are used. So let us see one by one. Here the first sentence you can understand that you can see that she is a brilliant student. So what shall we can understand from this sentence? So here in this sentence, the primary auxiliary verb is. So it belongs to one of the B forms. So ఈ సెంటెన్స్ లో మనకి ఏం అర్థం అవుతుంది? So it shows the status or the condition of a subject. She is a beautiful student. So she is what kind of girl she is. సో అంటే ఆమె యొక్క స్టేటస్ని మనకి కండిషన్ని ఈజీగా మనం ఈ ప్రైమరీ ఆక్సిలరీ ద్వారా అర్థం చేసుకోవచ్చు. షీ ఈజ్ ఏ బ్రిలియంట్ స్టూడెంట్. నెక్స్ట్ సెకండ్ సెంటెన్స్ యూ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్. హీ వాజ్ ఏ టీచర్. సో ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇట్ రివీల్స్ ద కండిషన్ ఆఫ్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్. అంటే కండిషన్ ఏంది, స్టేటస్ ఏంది. హీ వాజ్ ఏ టీచర్. సో హౌ షల్ వీ నో? సో వీ నో ఓన్లీ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ this primary auxiliaries, that is was. Next, they are applying for a new job. So in this sentence, so one is main verb and another one is helping verb or auxiliary verb. So here are considered as primary auxiliary or B form. Next, he does his work. So in this sentence also, so what is primary auxiliaries? Does. So next sentence, in the last sentence, we can understand that she has a car. So here it is an auxiliary verb, but in this sentence it acts as a main verb. She has a car. So it shows order, or it belongs to that car belongs to her. So it shows ownership like that. So here primary auxiliary verb acts as the main verb. So this is about primary auxiliaries. Next we will discuss secondary auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries. So these modal auxiliaries are also called secondary auxiliaries. So auxiliary verbs are nothing but as helping verbs, so which helps to the main verbs in a sentence. So what are secondary auxiliaries? So let us see what are secondary modal auxiliaries or secondary auxiliaries or helping verbs. For example, here shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, ought to, used to. So these are all modal auxiliary verbs or secondary auxiliary verbs. So let us see the functions of all these modal auxiliaries in the following examples. In these examples, so look at the sentence one by one. Here the first sentence, you should not cut the trees. So here in this sentence, what is modal auxiliary verb? Should. And what is the main function of this modal auxiliary in this sentence? It shows you should not cut the trees. So here this modal auxiliary gives us an advice or suggestion. So here we can understand the function of this modal auxiliary should. So it gives us an advice. So we are giving direction, or we are giving advice to someone else. You should not cut the trees, or you should not drive carelessly, or you should wear helmet while driving. So all these things, so all these examples we can frame by using the modal auxiliary verb should in the means of by giving a suggestion or advice. Next sentence we can see, David can speak 3 languages. Here what is a modal auxiliary? Can. So what does it show in this sentence, in this example? What is the main function of this modal auxiliary? It shows that capacity or ability. What we say, ability, that indicates what? He can speak. So he has the ability, David has the ability, can speak 3 languages. He has the ability to speak 3 languages. So here the modal auxiliary verb can shows ability of the speaker, ability of the subject David. So here my friend can drive a bike. So it shows ability. So in that way, if we want to use any sentence showing ability, definitely we can use the modal auxiliary, that is can. Next, may I borrow your dictionary? Here in this sentence, may I borrow your dictionary? So here in this sentence, what is a modal auxiliary verb? May. So what is this function that it reveals in this sentence? It shows asking permission. May I borrow your dictionary? Or may I take your mobile? Or may I go there? May I borrow your dictionary, or like that. So you may use my mobile. So in that way, so here usually this modal auxiliary may will be used, but particularly in this sentence, what does it shows? It shows that asking permission, means you are asking permission to get something from somebody else. So asking permission. Next, it may rain in few minutes. It may rain in few minutes. Suppose you and your friend are you are both are going somewhere. So all of a sudden it became very dark. Then one of your friends, they can look at the sky and they can show other friend, look at the clouds, they are very dark. It may rain few minutes. So he may say like that. Then what does that another friend mean? So he used this sentence, it may rain in few minutes. So here what is modal auxiliary? May. So what function does it show in this sentence? It shows there will be possible, there will be possibility, there is possibility of getting rain. So that is, so here what is the function of this modal auxiliary? Possibility. Here may shows possibility or probability. అంటే రెయిన్ వచ్చే అవకాశం ఉంది, ఆ పాసిబిలిటీ అయితే ఉంది. అయితే సడన్గా మనం చెప్పలేం, వస్తుందో రాదో మనకు తెలియదు, బట్ దేర్ విల్ బి ఏ పాసిబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ గెటింగ్ రెయిన్. ఇట్ మే రెయిన్ ఇన్ ఫ్యూ మినిట్స్. సో ఆ ఫంక్షన్లో భాగంగా మనం ఈ సెకండ్ ఈ మోడల్ ఆక్సిలరీ అనేటువంటి మేని మనం ఉపయోగించవచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్, యూ మస్ట్ అటెండ్ ద క్లాస్. యూ మస్ట్ అటెండ్ ద క్లాస్. సో హియర్ ఇన్ దిస్ సెంటెన్స్, వాట్ ఈస్ ఏ మోడల్ ఆక్సిలరీ? మస్ట్. సో మస్ట్ ఈస్ మోడల్ ఆక్సిలరీ. సో ఇక్కడ ఈ సెంటెన్స్ ద్వారా మనకి మోడల్ ఆక్సిలరీ, ఈ మస్ట్ అనేటువంటి మోడల్ ఆక్సిలరీ ఫంక్షన్ ఏంది? ఇట్ షోస్ ఆబ్లిగేషన్. ఆబ్లిగేషన్ అంటే ఒక రకమైన విధి ఆర్ ఇది నీ డ్యూటీ ఆర్ విధి అనే మీనింగ్లో మనం మస్ట్ ఉపయోగించవచ్చు. యూ మస్ట్ అటెండ్ ద క్లాస్, ఆర్ యూ మస్ట్ గో దేర్, ఆర్ యూ మస్ట్ కన్సల్ట్ డాక్టర్, ఆర్ యూ మస్ట్ come here by 10 o'clock tomorrow. So all these things, in all those sentences we may use must. It shows obligation. ఇది మీ యొక్క విధి, ఇది మీ యొక్క డ్యూటీ అనే మీనింగ్లో మనం మస్ట్ అనే మోడల్ ఆక్సిలరీని ఉపయోగించవచ్చు. నెక్స్ట్, మే ఐ కమ్ ఇన్. సో హియర్ ఇన్ దిస్ సెంటెన్స్, వాట్ షల్ వి నో? సో దిస్ సెంటెన్స్ గివ్స్ us, in this sentence we used modal auxiliary, that is may. So here what is the function of this modal auxiliary? Here asking permission. May I come in means you are asking someone else that he may allow you. So here asking permission. So the last sentence, so you may take my mobile if you want, or you may take my water bottle if you want, or you may take my homework notebook if you want. So in all these examples, so here in this example also we used the modal auxiliary may. Here in the what function does it reveal? It shows giving permission. That indicates what? You are giving permission to someone else, that that person may take one of your article. So in this way we can understand that what are modal auxiliaries, so how they can be used in giving in different functions like that. So that is, so a modal auxiliary verb, these are the modal auxiliaries: shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, ought to, use it to. So that is, and they will be used to take to give permission, to take permission, obligation, possibility or capacity or ability, advice, suggestion, order. Sometimes we may use order also. For example, let me say one example. you should type this letter immediately. You should type this letter. You should type this letter immediately. So here in this sentence we can understand what function does a modal auxiliary should give us. So it gives us command or order. It gives us command or order. A manager or somebody is giving order to someone else. You should type immediately the letter. So like that. So in that way we may use all modal auxiliaries. So this is, friends, this is about all modal auxiliaries. నెక్స్ట్ వీడియోలో మనం ట్రాన్సిటివ్ ఇంట్రాన్సిటివ్ వర్బ్స్ గురించి చాలా డీటెయిల్గా డిస్కస్ చేసుకోబోతున్నాం. అయితే ఆ వీడియోని మీరు మిస్ కాకుండా ఉండాలంటే ఈ వీడియోని లైక్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి. బట్ డోంట్ ఫర్గెట్ ప్రెస్ ఆన్ బెల్ ఐకాన్. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ ఆల్.